I'm Jon Woodall, I'm the founder and managing director of Space 48. Space 48 is an e-commerce agency. We build websites for retailers that are looking for fast growth and internationalisation. We work with customers like Charlotte Tilbury, Oak Furnitureland, just to name a couple. Typically around fast growth, where they're looking to grow quickly. Team of people based here in Manchester, of around about 30 people here in Manchester, and then half a dozen people that are based down in Bath. There's a couple of challenges with growing any agency, so you could address that in different ways. But in terms of growth of an agency, I feel like it goes through three stages. I think sales and marketing first and foremost is the bedrock of any business, and the sales and marketing efforts just change at different levels. So when you're small, it's kind of easy because it's just you. But then as the business grows, obviously, you know, the sales and marketing function changes and you need to bring other people in, and that's difficult and challenging to do, but you have to have the right systems and processes in place to be able to scale that. The second stage of growth, I think, is really through the operational stage, like how's the business actually functioning, how are we managing resource, how are we managing people, how are we recruiting people, how are we retaining people. Your culture's obviously just runs deep, you know, in all of that as well. And then the third stage of growth, I think, is actually around financial reporting, which I see considerably different to operational reporting. I think there's many agencies that operationally are quite sound and they know what it is that they're doing, but fundamentally getting your financial reporting right and building on strong foundations of your financials is very important to the future success of any agency or business. So as an agency, I think Space 48 is well known for being a successful financially. You know, we're well run financially. We've always done well and operated well as a business. I would say that now that I've worked with MAP, some of that has in the past perhaps been quite intuitive, but from working with MAP and working with Martin and Paul, we've been able to improve our financial reporting, which I now appreciate and understand the importance of that. And starting to tie that back into the other two areas of the business that I mentioned before. So how does my financial reporting work with my operational processes and reporting and systems? How does my financial reporting link into sales and marketing as well? So from working with MAP, you know, they've given me that extra sort of tool in my toolbox, and sort of opened my eyes to what more we can actually do with financial reporting that we weren't doing before. The financial reporting has been good for many reasons. I think first and foremost, it's raised awareness across the team, and we've been able to share with our business more openly how we're actually performing as a team, which historically was harder to do because of the way that the numbers were kept. They made sense to me, but for others to see them probably wouldn't have made as much sense. So now we're in a position where we can share those numbers with the wider team. We can also link bonus schemes to it as well, which is great for the team, and incentivising or sharing in our success and any objectives that we're trying to achieve. Also, we would have to look at how it's linking now to other areas of the business. So how it's linking to our operational performance or resource planning. Our financial planning is naturally linked to operations and also to sales and marketing. So we're actually getting a view of months in advance of when projects might be landing, any parallel projects we're doing for existing customers, new business, which makes planning an awful lot easier, so we can actually recruit based on business that we believe is going to happen in the future, which is a nicer place to be than we've got a load of business, how are we going to do it, where are we going to find the people. Obviously the agency world just doesn't really work that way. People don't tend to be there when you need them at the time. I think I think first of all, any challenges that agencies are having around the financials, from, you know, be it down to reporting or, you know, I mean maybe even more basics around P&L or cash flow. I think from an education piece, I'd recommend speaking to MAP. to have those conversations, because you're not going to really know where you're at. Like I didn't know necessarily where I was at or what was possible until I started those conversations. So, you know, that came around in numerous ways. I was fortunate enough to, you know, go to a presentation and then get to meet Paul to learn what I did in the end. Obviously, by speaking to other agency owners, you know, it's a good way of seeing what they're doing that you're maybe not doing. So I think they'd be the two things, you know. Obviously speak to Matt and have a conversation with Paul, and go out and speak to other agency owners, even people like myself, to understand if what we're doing is actually right for, you know, for you as an agency. The way that we do things isn't necessarily right for the next one. So I'm a big one for believing in that I can take on board what I want to take on board, but you've still got to be big enough to make your own mind up about it.